Hello, Nicholas DiPietro here, senior class member for 2024 at North Seattle College. I'm making this video just to briefly give a small rundown on MongoDB and just kind of help out with folks who might not have an understanding on its uses as well as how to kind of get it up and running. So I'm going to showcase both how to get it up and running as well as what a live instance looks like. So I have a project I've created here, which you can do yourself. You just hit new project and kind of go through the motions, but it results in giving you something like this. So I have testbin MongoDB. And so what you can do is there's a lot of different services. I'm not going to go over all of them. There are better videos than what this will provide for doing so. However, for most use cases that you might encounter on an educational level, database is going to be where you're going to probably start. At the free tier, shouldn't cost anything. It's going to run pretty slow, but for our purposes, that's a-okay, right? So here we're just going to call this test Mongo. We'll automate everything. We'll say that it's going to be provided on AWS because I believe that is the most chosen partner for North Seattle College. So we're going to stick with what you will likely be learning through the course of your journey in the program. We're going to choose Oregon because it's the closest server. It's going to be a little easier. And we're going to create deployment. This is going to take quite a while. And we're going to have a database user here. I'm going to delete this database, so showing the password doesn't matter. Make sure when you create yours, hide your database password information. But yeah, we can choose a connection method. Create a database user, sure. Choose a connection method. I recommend downloading Mongo Compass. So it looks like this. Oh, I don't have it on this computer. Well, let's go get that ourselves. So you can basically go in here, you get your connection string into Compass, and it will kind of work very similar to if you used env variables and stuff like that. This is how you would utilize those env variables to connect to specific databases. Once you have an actual database, I'm going to show you a live database that is running currently on a website that myself and another student, Robel, built out during our previous summer courses. So this database is very simple. This was for proof of concept stuff, but just to show you what a database of this style would look like. If you're familiar with JSON, it's going to look pretty similar. This is a NoSQL database, which is usually, I guess you can call it document based. So you're going to get, in our case here, we have an ID, a client ID, company name, some various start and end dates. And we also have a clients section, and this is going to be various email addresses with users' passwords that have them encrypted so that you can't see them, their roles as well. This is running live on a site we have here. You can register, you can log in, and that will actually trigger a creation of these various objects. And in your database, that is how you would then access them. You have IDs and emails, which are probably going to be your easiest method of accessing. There's a lot of different stuff in Mongo. It's a pretty big service. It's not perfect for everything. There are a lot of use cases where a NoSQL database is going to work better than a typical relational database. However, a lot of times there'll be cases where a relational database is going to work better than this. So your use case is really going to be dependent here. Different sections, you can kind of research these and what they do. Things like API layers and REST endpoints over HTTPS. Looks like we have some triggers here. So it looks like if something happens, you can trigger something to occur, maybe like an update of the database or feeding information to your AWS server, whatever it might be. You can migrate. It looks like here you can migrate from a relational database. So if you have MySQL, SQL Server, Postgres, you can bring everything over. There's API documentation. There's a lot of stuff on MongoDB because currently it's kind of the hot market thing for NoSQL databases. Doesn't mean it's the only option. You can back up your database. You can set up users with various accesses here. So I can add a new database user. They have this new thing that looks like AWS IAM. But here we can create users with an auth method of password or certificate. Password is probably going to be the best one. You can generate any number of passwords. There are built-in roles, custom roles. You can restrict privileges, make them temporary users so that they only have access for 6 hours, 1 day, or 1 week. Here's creation of your custom roles. So a lot of really different access information. You can also view monitoring so you can see who's accessing your database, what's happening at what times, it looks like. You can check in the connections. Currently 2 and then 0. So I would say definitely look into your use case online. YouTube, any number of Udemy courses are cheap or free usually. But YouTube is probably going to be your best bet. It's quick, easily digestible sources. This is just kind of a get up and go video for students to research and kick off from. And just for the sake of creating it, video create, we'll just do that to create our project. You're the owner. Gonna take a minute here. And there you go. I've got my video create. So this is a really quick and easy thing to spin up. Once you go to your database, you can, like I said before, build your database, gets it built up. And then once you go into your database, see, we can check our collections now. And here's their sample that they give you, mflix, but if you want, you can create your own database. Call it users. We'll call it collection name. So this is users. We'll call this admin, right? So we're going to have a database for all just admin related people. We'll create it. And here you go. You have a users .admin. And if we were to set up our website to capture information and insert them in here, it would eventually put them in. And it really is like that easy to get things set up. And I believe if you want to delete your various databases, there is a way. I actually never had to delete one, so this is a good first thing for us to do. Organizations. Project settings. There you go. So you can go right up here to the three dots. We can delete the project. And I will delete our DB here. Running Atlas clusters need to be terminated. So you have to terminate your database clusters, it looks like. So we can terminate test Mongo. So we do that. It might take a little time to shut down, but let's try this. Test spin Mongo DB. Still running. So it might take some time, but eventually you can shut it down. And it would be that easy. So I don't know if there's a limit to how many organizations you can have or databases or anything like that. But in the free tier, I imagine it's pretty low and they'll start to run slow. So yeah, hopefully that helps. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thanks.